Hello everyone, thanks for joining me again. I had some thoughts regarding online learning and the need to make the social connections necessary. Recently, my family and we have been following certain YouTube channels. We have made this decision to follow these channels because it makes a direct connection with our cultural background and also with certain things that our children must learn about too. There you go, you can hear the animals making the sounds in the background. All lovely environment. But why is the external environment important to online? Well, too often courses are designed in such a way that separates the outside world from inside. And basically we have to understand that online teaching and learning needs to have that social connection necessary. Why is this important? If we know the theories about learning, we understand that the social theory of learning requires that interaction to take place. Frankly speaking, I have found myself somewhat isolated based on this pandemic, and the need for social connections and cultural connections is very important to me at this point. Subsequently, I want you to consider the importance of this connection. Well, to be honest, the best class I've ever taught has been taught outside the classroom. It was under a tree back in Jamaica where I taught some students how to read, and making that connection was necessary. Well, the reality is we do not have to isolate ourselves. As teachers, as educators, we can try to diversify that background, just like what I'm doing today, to entice learners to come in. For example, you might decide that students will do a project-based learning. This project-based learning could allow them to go externally outside the classroom into their local backyard, so to speak, and to do that work. I'm always saying be careful because you have to remember the context of social distancing and so forth. So therefore you can create that space that's necessary to give them that sort of space needed, and the space can be in their home or yard environment. For example, if you're teaching sciences in Jamaica, you might want to ask students to go externally outside the home to do a little experiment in the yard. The same context can apply to United States and other countries. What I'm saying is we have to really diversify our learning situation within the context. If we are able to make these changes, we can engage students in a more meaningful way. Another thing that I thought about is you can also, as a teacher, move from one segment to the next. Here you see where I'm using different backgrounds to talk about a situation that's important. The same can be done. I've noticed one teacher, for example, has been around several historical sites as she's teaching history in the United States during the pandemic. This is a wonderful experience. Students who are unable to go outside or venture based on the risk now have access to outside based on the teacher's proactive movement. So I'm saying there are so many possibilities that you can think about as you journey this route. It's not going to be easy, but I'm sure you'll understand what I'm talking about. For example, you could see the crane behind me in the back of this backdrop, and if you were teaching a subject that is based really on maybe animals in our habitat, you could include that frame and then talk about the crane, of course. There you see the crane. So there are so many things that we can practically do. We have to be creative in this time. This creativity can be achieved by you planning and executing what you want within the context of your curriculum and, of course, your objectives. In summary, you need to think about how you can connect the external world within your online class, because I think right now there are several students who are sleeping in Zoom sessions. Therefore, if we can engage them in a more meaningful way using their environment, then we can have learning. If you want to engage in a discussion regarding how we can share our spaces and enhance learning within the context of what's happening, please share some ideas. That's all for now, and thanks for joining me.